Good evening and welcome to the Town of Highgate Selectboard meeting on Thursday, October 16th, 2025. First order on the agenda is a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our first item up is public comment. Sue.
I just want to remind people with Halloween coming up in a week and a half, please be careful. Make sure that you're watching the roads, just for the kids' sake. You don't need any more tragedy in Highgate right now.
Yes, indeed.
We've had that shit the last couple of years, so it's just get the word out and be very careful. That's really all I have to say. I just want everybody to have a safe Halloween, but be safe.
Yeah. Thank you, Sue. Any other public comment? Ty?
No. You already started coming in.
All right, moving on. Town Clerk Wendy Dismal.
Yes, I will keep it brief because we have a lot to do. You have minutes from the last time we were together, October 2nd.
Make a motion to accept those minutes.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Just a couple of updates and events. There is a haunted drive-through at MBU on October 25th from 6 to 8. Trunk or treat at Highgate Sports Arena, that's sponsored by Rec and the library, on October 31st from 5:30 to 7. And Saturday, October 25th, there is a craft show at MBU from 9 to 3. All good stuff. The pumpkin fairy came, I believe, on Friday when we were all working remotely. I did run into the pumpkin fairy, so I'd like to thank Dan and Lise Brusso for decorating our village. They do it for us every year. It's very generous and very, very nice. So thank you to them for doing that. We did have a recent resignation on the Development Review Board. I wanted to thank Tim Reynolds. He served on the Zoning Board of Adjustment and the DRB for 22 and a half years. So we understand the reasons behind his resignation, but we will miss him, and I just want to say thank you. I've worked with Tim for a long time. So we have an open seat on the DRB to fill the remainder of Tim's term, which is just until March of 2026. And we also still have one open seat on the Planning Commission, which we've had for about a year. And that seat would be filling till March of 2028. So I'll post some more stuff about those and see if we can get somebody or some buddies to fill those seats. It's a pretty minimal commitment, one meeting a month. And we finalized the bylaw modification with the mapping change. That one lot went from agricultural to industrial commercial, and that was finalized, and the new bylaws were in effect October 9th. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Wendy. Next up, Town Treasurer Shelley Rush.
Ben, you have the select check warrant in front of you?
Yep.
Make a motion to accept the check warrant.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
While you're signing that, same thing, I'll keep it brief, but give you a couple of updates. We are about halfway through of the collection season, and so far, out of just over $8.8 million, we've collected $3 million. So we have another 5.8 million plus to go. Due date is October 30th. If you are going to have trouble making that due date, please reach out to me as soon as possible, come up with a payment plan, and get ahead of it. Don't wait. If not, then penalties and interest hit as soon as the due date has come and passed. So by 4:30 that evening, after the doors are locked and the day is done, everything has been become delinquent. Speaking of delinquent, our current delinquent balance right now is $77,243.04, and the tax sale process is still happening. It's just going to take longer than normal with the new laws. And that is all I have for you today.
There's signing these. I think it would be appropriate to say if you are a federal employee and are having no pay coming in, contact us. I'm sure we can work out something, waive penalties for coming in late.
Unfortunately, Ben, it's all set by state statute, and just like Christmas, taxes come every year, same time. Yeah, I hate to be blunt, and I'm not trying to be rude, and I would like to be able to put our compassion into
Sure.
the statutes that are set by, that limit us for the decisions that we are able to make.
Yeah.
But the process is much harder than them just coming in and saying they're not getting a paycheck. I wish it was that simple. And I do feel I am one of those families, so I do feel for everyone out there that's working for free right now, and hopefully the government can resolve their issues, but taxes are due on the 30th at 4 p.m. without penalty.
Okay.
Great.
All right. Moving on, Town Administrator Fred Hayes.
So I have just, I don't have many updates for you guys in terms of our projects. We're getting just to be hopefully close to done on the arena, so hopefully some of that parking issues will be a little bit resolved, maybe, we're hoping. If not, we're working on it, as always. So, also, just to note again, we put out a notice today that we had some police training over at 28 Mill Hill. We tried to get that as far and as wide as we possibly could. We, don't get a lot of opportunities to partner with some of our state folks very often, and we just happen to have a facility planned for demo that we didn't really care about the interior. And they needed some training time where they could be able to damage the inside. So it worked out for both of us since it's currently set for demolition, and they needed a place to run around with their whatever they're doing. So if you see increased law enforcement presence in the village core, don't be alarmed. They are there on sort of the town behalf, but also we welcome them, and we don't expect any traffic delays with their presence. Also, you might be noticing archaeology work being done up and around in the village core. That is a part of our wastewater project. We do ask that you be nice to them. They are just making sure that nothing is sensitive in the area, and yeah, we really appreciate their work, but they should be about, I don't know how long they'll be here, but they won't be here past it getting really cold, so we hope to get that done. So not a ton of great updates for you guys in terms of specifics, but I do have one request. So the Northwest Regional Planning Commission and Transportation Advisory Committee needs a Highgate representative. I would be happy to fill that role until someone else would like to step up and take that role. So it's just a committee for Northwest Regional Planning. But it's just to fill in until March of 2026 or until someone else would like to do it. It just affects talking about VTrans with state planning, etc., etc. Speaking of VTrans, we have been talking, I'm looking at the camera. We have been talking to VTrans about the 207 bridge near Highgate Falls. We are actively working on that project to make sure that we get on a higher priority list, because unfortunately we don't dictate what that is for VTrans, and unfortunately when we ask them to do things, it just gets put on their list, and I totally understand, but we hear you loud and clear, and we really appreciate you guys letting us know when there are problems in the community, because sometimes we don't see it. So until you let us know, sometimes we can't do anything about it, but we'll do what we can when you do let us know. But again, transportation.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Freddie Hayes to represent the town of Highgate on the NRPC Transportation Advisory Committee.
I'll second it.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Is that the one Christie girls going?
No,
Oh, okay.
but thank you. Appreciate it. So that's it for me. We'll move on to select board, but I wanted to give kind of, I did it in a little bit of an odd way just because we're in a bit of a predicament without a road commissioner tonight. Richard Flint is our active road commissioner, so these are a little bit pulled together. So I'm going to read out the requests that we got for road and traffic related in the past month or so, and then I will kind of go over what DRB is currently doing, what the V-Trans recommendations are, and then we can get into the specifics. So the first one is a request by the LeDukes for the town to take over Boone Drive. There's a request by Brendan Brown for the town to put signage on Carter Hill Road, warning motorists of a wheelchair user. There's a request by Ed Nichols for guardrails on Route 78. I believe that's to protect his house from...
It is. There's no place for them.
You just got a fence there.
Yes, and then there is a request by David and Melissa Cooper for speed bumps on Crusoe Road. So with that, currently for anything regarding signage and speeding, currently the DRB has a process where self-funded traffic studies are required before they take it into consideration. Right now, we don't have any line items set aside for traffic studies in this fiscal year. We could change that in the next fiscal year, but they run pretty high, especially depending on what road you put them on. And it really can take a while. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And then basically the recommendation from my conversations with other folks who are dealing with some traffic issues in their communities as well as V-Trans, is basically the recommendation is all requests be paused until we have a standard operating procedure. So basically putting into place, how do we even take these into consideration, because we want to make sure that we're addressing community issues, but we don't want to have them unevenly addressed. And so basically there are some templates based on VTCMA, VLCT, some of those state higher resources that we can look at, getting policies, procedures, the whole 9 yards on taking those traffic and road requests. And then basically also none of them are currently urgent at this time, though it may change. So yeah, that was my kind of spiel about that, and then you guys can go into your detail.
So first, really the only thing we can action or talk about is Boone Drive.
What's that?
The only thing we can really talk about is Boone Drive.
Correct.
So,
Ed Nichols, 1, there's no place for guardrails, and 2, it's a state highway.
yeah.
Where's that property, Mary?
Right there on the corner of East Highgate,
Cross from
where his,
Okay.
yeah, there's no place. The fence is right on the road as it is.
Okay.
And it's a state highway, so we have no control.
All right, so discussion on Boone Drive. It's a long history. Thank you, Freddie, for putting out this 50-page packet. So we're going back to 2012, looks like. Any discussion?
What's that?
Any discussion on it?
I don't think we're in a place with our current employees to physically take on any more roads at this point,
Employees and equipment, yeah.
meaning the town employees.
I mean, this is already kind of decided by the previous board that they didn't want to accept it back.
So what was that then?
This is already discussed by a previous board back in 2019. To return, it was accepted and returned after a 1-year probationary period. There were conditions that weren't met.
The top layer, right? The secondary
I
layer?
think it was an HOA.
The secondary layer was put on.
This has gone through town's attorney and been vetted. Currently, we don't have Richard here as our highway foreman, and it's only 3 of 5 members. I wouldn't be comfortable returning the previous board on unlimited knowledge and personnel here.
Again, we're not in the capacity at present with our town employee staff or our trucking to take on anything additional.
Right.
Public Works had expressed that they didn't have an ability to accept that, but that was just from Public Works.
So where do we go from here on it?
You can table a discussion. You do have quorum, so you can table it, or you
We
can
have minimum
vote,
quorum.
or
I would like to hear a motion to table to discuss it in front of the whole board.
I'll make that motion.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Alright, so we're going to table this until we can further review the information and have a full board here.
Because we need Richard here for that, don't we?
It would make sense to have our road commissioner here for the discussion. So we'll move that to a later meeting to be determined.
do you want to set that as a, when the whole board is here?
Yes.
Okay. The request to upgrade town security is next.
Yes.
After that. So currently, within the past 2 months, we have had both the town of Highgate and the village of Swan, no comment on their particulars, but we have both had issues with attempted and actual robberies of town and associated contractor property. So unfortunately, like, people are taking things and breaking in the whole nine yards. And because of that and the variety of where it's been located at, so we had one in Public Works, we had one over at the fire, and then one here in town, attempting to break into 28 Mill Hill and 14 St. Armand, as well as the arena during construction, during that first phase of our construction of the arena. One of those trailers was broken into, and they took basically all of the power tools. Because of that, multiple departments across the town have requested upgraded security systems, and this is a great time to start having those larger conversations of what you want that to look like. Because we're about to hit budget season and we can have those conversations, but I do need your permission to start looking into and gathering basically financials on what it would cost to expand our current, change to a different if that was a possibility, do all of the feasibility research prior to any decision making. So
We're gonna need quotes for that, correct? Yeah, quotes for that?
I don't have quotes right now for any of that because I do need your permission to actively seek those out.
Sure.
But I would be getting quotes for expanding our current system, so that would include cameras, all of that fun stuff, and then which would expand our camera access from just behind to all around on multiple different buildings for the town, so including the arena, the town offices, both parts of the garage. And then also anything in terms of additional law enforcement coverage that you would like to see if that's something feasible. Now again, this is only looking into the feasibility of it, what the cost would be, what does the actuality of those.
But additional law enforcement, doesn't that have to go through the voters?
It would, yes, but she's just
Okay.
she's gonna get us the numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just permission for me to
Okay.
research and get numbers
Sure.
so people have information to go off of.
I totally agree, we need to update our security system.
I do too.
Or at least expand it.
Yeah,
I agree.
definitely. I can tell you that CDL had an issue this week too. CDL building.
We should start there at least, the cameras, getting some quotes to upgrade that, for sure.
A couple of your buildings are, to expand the current system is,
And you're better off going new,
yeah.
because the system is like archaic.
Yeah, the cameras we have now don't cover
They're
everything
terrible.
around here.
And they've been piecemeal from one company
Yeah.
to the next so many times that
We need to, I think, start
fresh
fresh.
start fresh.
I think we need to get somebody in here professionally.
Well, they are, but they're just old systems, just band-aiding them, basically.
Yeah. Oh, we need a couple more cameras. Oh, well, it's so old, you need this old technology to be able to talk to this itself.
Exactly. It's necessary in today's ever-changing world, for sure.
I think we have a pretty good checks and balances system on our current security system. If the other two would have, yeah, because it has to have multiple layers of people accessing the security system.
Yeah.
So we're pretty good on that part.
We just need more cameras.
Expanded.
More.
Yeah, even if it
Access
is
control
something.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some can like spin. I don't know. We'll see
Or
what.
move. At
Yes.
least move.
Yes.
So I guess we're looking for a motion to authorize Freddie to research and obtain closer security system upgrades at the town office complex and the arena, including potential expansion of law enforcement coverage hours with findings and recommendations to be presented during the upcoming budget season for consideration.
I make that motion.
I'll second it.
I'm not repeating it.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
It's too much.
Well, Freddie, move forward.
Would you like to do your quote before you exit into executive?
That's all part of what I do.
I got another,
Perfect.
they didn't say anything about that, but I felt just sitting in the crowd, it pretty dismissive about any of the road issues you had. And I don't know, I just felt that it was a dismissive situation. There was zero conversation. I realized that Richard wasn't here to make a decision, but there could have been some conversation.
Point taken.
I mean, we have
There's some history.
50
as why we
pages
didn't-
of stuff that we could go through.
Yeah, but I think even though we don't have SOPs on requests for signage and stuff, I think I don't know if there was anybody.
It also works both ways.
I understand
Yeah,
that.
and
But
Freddie,
I'm just saying how I felt.
Sure,
But might be
absolutely.
no skin in the game either way.
Sure.
Freddie did
absolutely.
say before the discussion that there's certain procedures that agency of transportation has to do before we can review signage and speed bumps.
I am still actively having conversations with a variety of different folks from V-Trans about all of the different signage, all of the different, so like thinking of speed, thinking of how do you warn people of like a blind, when you warn someone of a blind drive, like how, like where do you set that sign for the most, because when you put too many signs on one road, people just start blurring them out and they don't pay attention to them, and that's when some extra dangerous things can happen rather than placing them strategically based on research to make them as effective as possible. I really think that us developing an SOP as well as like maybe adding to our traffic lineage and other things, that we could really like address those issues in a better way, because we're getting them and we're a little bit like, what do we do, what do we do, what do we do? Because we can't just patchwork all of it. As much as I would love to like help every single community issue, we have to have like a clear idea of what we can and cannot do, what we can and cannot afford. And if we can't afford it in that time, how do we, like if it is a real safety issue, how do we address it in a way that maybe for temporarily can have some success, but maybe expand later on when we do have additional funds, or we can start applying for grants, et cetera, et cetera. So I totally get that, but I really would love to have something in place where we can address them in a way that actually is meaningful, and I can make recommendations to the select board that actually has a long-term solution rather than just short-term patches.
So in no way were we being dismissive. I didn't feel comfortable acting as a partial board on the major issue of Boone Drive. So to move that forward so we can have the whole board here is probably the better call.
I'd rather have a whole board.
I don't disagree with your decision at all.
All right, so any other business? So I know Sue touched on it. You know, Highgate doesn't need any more tragedies. We've had a couple in the last couple of weeks.
I'd also like to thank Tim Reynolds as well. He has done a lot for this town. I did call and leave him a message. I wasn't able to catch him, but I do want to express that.
Yeah, so I see life as a collection of moments of time. Some good, you know, we rejoice in the good times, and unfortunately we're filled with moments of bad time, but, you know, house fires and, you know, loss of life, these moments of time just become like when we weave together, become the tapestry of our lives. That takes me into today's quote. It's actually a movie quote. One of my favorite quotes actually is, so this comes from the movie Star Trek Generations. Someone once told me that time was a predator that stalked us all our lives. But I rather believe that time is a companion who goes with us on the journey and reminds us to cherish every moment because they'll never come again. What we leave behind is not as important as how we lived. So with that, can I get a motion to exit the regular select board meeting and enter executive session pursuant to Vermont State Statute Section 313, inviting Town Administrator Freddie Hayes and Cathedral Square Representative Cindy Reed. And also we'll do some personnel business.
Looking for a motion?
Promotion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor signify by saying aye. All right, thank you and good night.